Good morning, Debashish. Mr. Debashish. So I think we can start.
Yeah.
Shubro, can you take care of the rest?
Yeah, I did already.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. I think Mr. Debashish is the one who can take care from here.
Yeah. So I hope the initial thing is it is a bit difficult to start from where Karthik has left. It is a fantastic session that we had already. So it may take a bit of time to just gear up to that standard. Okay, but let me try. So first of all, what I will do, I will share my screen. I hope the recording is on. Yeah, the recording is on. I will share the screen. You let me know if you can see the screen. So is the screen visible for all of you? Can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Hello. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So what I will do is I will start explaining, but before that, I will. So the agenda today is, we are going to use our pipeline, which is the GitLab CI/CD pipeline, and over onto that we will be deploying the Terraform and the Ansible, the jobs created through Terraform and Ansible. I will explain you the process, everything I have set it up so that we do not build it from the scratch because it will take a long time. So what I have done is already created the project. I will explain you all the steps that I have taken to what I have done. In the meantime, and we will see the results. Okay. In the meantime, I will start up my video. Let me do that. Okay. So I think I am visible. Okay. So what I will do is I will go back to the screen. Okay. This is my GitLab screen. So the screen, the interface says that we are onto our projects, and one of the projects that I have set it up for you is DevOps Internship Terraform Ansible GitLab. I've given a name to this project under the account Debashish Pal, or basically the Debashish _Jeff or dash Jeff. Okay, that is the thing. Now you tell me, can we start from here? Because I have discussed this interface, I have discussed Terraform, I have discussed Ansible in the previous 3 sessions, right? You agree? So if some of you are very new, don't worry, those recordings are already available in our YouTube channel. Okay, you can get everything over there. And I have already provided the YouTube channel link onto our in our group. So you can that is a pinned message. You will see on the top there is a pin. There are 3 pinned messages, out of which one is our YouTube link. Okay, so you can go there and go to check what we have learned in our GitLab session, in our Ansible session, and Terraform session. Now we are going to combine all these 3 tools into building our one project. It's a very simple project, though I'm saying simple, but in this very simple project, it has taken a lot of things. It has taken care of so many things. Okay, so let me explain you what I have done in this project. So I have created this project. How do you create a project? You can just say, go to a new project. In fact, when we have learned GitLab, we have explained you, I have through a demo, how to create a project and how to, we have done a GitLab, a simple project. I will tell you what the project was. This is the project, GitLab internship demo project. Okay. This project we have built. So we have got the preliminary idea of how you build a CI/CD pipeline and deploy the jobs over it. Okay, we have done that. Now today, we are not only building a pipeline, we are putting some other tools like Terraform and Ansible. The tools, one that Terraform is the provisioning tool through which we are going to create few things over our Amazon. So let me tell you, okay, before I tell you, let me go there. So since I have already created this project, I'm going into that project. So the project name is DevOps Internship Terraform Ansible GitLab. You can name it anything. And you can see it's a private project. It's a private project, okay? Nobody else can access it unless and until I, as an owner, as a owner of this project, will be allowing other members in our team to access this with a different role. So as I have created this project, I am the DevOps guy or the team lead or maybe the all in all. I'm the owner of this project. Okay, so I have a lot of visibility and accessibility to the entire project. My developers, whom I will be assigning to work on this project, they will not be given an ownership or owner privilege. They will be given a developer privilege or a member privilege. Okay, they will not have access, or because of the security reasons, they will not be able to go and analyze, monitor, operate. So many things they cannot do. They can go to the settings, but they cannot do. They can go and check the general settings, but they cannot go to the CI/CD under the settings CI/CD. They cannot create their own runners. This is a very secured area. They cannot create the variables because these variables are, I have already created 4 important variables. Okay, the access key, the secret access key, because my Terraform, my Terraform and Ansible will need an authentication to work on an AWS cloud platform because my resources will be created over the AWS. Okay. So to create or to modify, destroy, whatever, through Terraform and deploy the jobs on those resources through Ansible will need an access, authentication and authorization. So for that, I have created 2 variables. I will not disclose these variables because these are, you see, when I go to my AWS, this is my AWS interface. Say I am in the Singapore region. I'm in the Mumbai region. Currently, it has gone a bit slow. Okay. Yeah, you can see these are the various regions of the AWS cloud. And in this, I'm going to create my resource. Right now, I do not have any instance in this region. Okay. I will create through my Terraform script over the GitLab, through my GitLab CI/CD pipeline, I will be deploying the jobs of Terraform to create resources over the AWS. What are the resources that we are going to create? Let me go for a list of the resources that we are going to create. I will explain you. So the list is, I'm going to create one, the EC2 instance. You must be knowing we had a AWS session. So you must be knowing what is an EC2 instance. It is nothing but a server. We are going to create a server in a particular region, and my region will be Mumbai region. And Mumbai region is AP South 1. This is the code. This is the region, and this is the region code, AP South 1. What else? We are going to create a security group. So before we create an instance, we are going to create, of course, the security group. You know the security group, the firewall. I want to protect my EC2 instance with a firewall. Okay, I want to protect my server. Just now, Karthik was saying about a server and a desktop. I am creating on my cloud. This is my AWS cloud. On this, on a particular region and in a particular subnet in a data center, I'm creating my server. Okay, so that is called the EC2 instance through the Terraform. And I want to protect my server with a security group. So this is also a resource that I'm going to create. This is a firewall. I'm placing a firewall in front of this server. Okay, that is called a security group. If somebody is coming from outside and trying to access this, it has to go through the firewall to access this server. It cannot directly go through it. And so the traffic can be filtered out. Based on the blacklisting, you are setting up some rules to blacklist or whitelist. Whitelisting, okay? So you do this, and therefore through the rules, set of rules, the ingress, which is the incoming ingress rules, and egress. Egress is this is the inbound, and this is the outbound. Okay? So you will set up certain rules so that if the user will be authenticated and authorized with if they are validated with the rules, validated, then only the users will be allowed to access the server. And what is the other thing that we are going to create is the S3 bucket. We are going to create the S3 bucket, and within that, we are going to set up the properties and the permissions. Within the property, we will version enable. So the bucket is a place where you can store your files and folders, your photos and whatever. So we will enable the version enabling. Do this thing, this properties, and another we will do the permissions. All these are through a Terraform. I will not do through any manual activity through the Terraform. We will unblock, because the public access was denied. We will unblock the public access. That means I would like to give access for others to create objects into my bucket, into the public bucket. So these are the things that we are going to change, or we are going to create all these resources. These are the resources. Resources over the what? The AWS cloud. We are going to create these resources through Terraform. So Terraform is a tool, provisioning tool, which will provision these resources over the AWS cloud. Okay, this is one thing. And then these are happening all over the pipeline. So this is a Terraform job, Terraform job, Terraform job, and then we will have an Ansible job. Now on this, we will have an Ansible job. We will create, rather we will install, because Ansible is a configuration management. So Terraform will do these three things, and Ansible, after the server has been created, Ansible will go and fetch. So what are the things that Ansible will do? We'll try to connect to this server, right? Just one minute. So are you being able to see? Are you being able to see the video?
Yes, sir, we are able to.
Hello? Is the video
Yes,
still
it's-
available? Let me check.
Yes, it's available.
Okay, very good. So what we will do with Ansible is, first and foremost, is Ansible will like to configure something on this server, right? The server which was created through Terraform. So Ansible will connect. To connect, Ansible needs what? Can anybody tell me? If I wanted to connect to any server in the runtime, see, I'm doing this. Oh, very sorry. They are going to call me again and again. I don't know. Okay. So what we will do is to connect to this server. Connect to this server. This is coming. Can you please? Sorry for this disturbance. Okay, what we will do? I will stop my camera. Sorry for this inconvenience. I'm very sorry for that. Okay, actually there was a call coming. Well, it will again come. I am not sure. Anyway, so am I visible and audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So let me go back to my thing. So what I was discussing is that Ansible, first of all, can anybody tell me, for Ansible to access this server, to connect to this server, what is the prime thing that it needs to understand? How does one device connects to the other device through what?
Access code.
To the
Access code or access key.
access key. Wow, fantastic. That is one very important thing. But before that also, I will say that there is the first and the that the priority one. What is the one? Without which, even if you have the access key, you cannot connect to a server or connect to any device. What is that?
Your IP.
Access key. The
IP address.
yes. You are fantastic. Correct. Without an IP address, so this IP address is the first and the foremost thing. Now, this IP address has to be public IP address, isn't it? Because any EC2 instance will have two IP addresses, one the public and one the private. Fine. Now, if I want to connect to, so Ansible is, let's say here, this is the GitLab pipeline, and on the GitLab pipeline, we have an image which is containerized. Ansible is containerized within as an image within the container. So that is on the pipeline. So that Ansible will try to connect to this server. So it is outside. So it needs to access a public IP address, isn't it? So it will need to get an IP address. So how will it get the IP address? If you know Ansible, if you have already, we have discussed that part. Through which file will it access the IP address? Because I will dynamically create a file. And what is the name of that file? Can you tell me? I will have this. And on the very last line, I will extract the IP address and put it over in this file. IP address of this server. Because this is called the inventory file. This is the inventory file. Ansible will always consult before it connects to any server with the inventory file, and because it will pick up the IP address. So that IP address will be on the runtime dynamically. See, everything will be on the runtime, isn't it? So it has to be extracted dynamically. So dynamically, it is extracting the IP address. Can anybody? Yeah, I know it is a bit difficult and out of context, but not context. It is very much in context, but only thing is that, just 1 minute. Oh, I have, where is my camera? Just 1 minute. Oh, sometimes it is not working. Anyway, now I think the camera is working. So let me go back. Yeah. So can anybody tell me which software will help to fetch the IP address dynamically from outside the AWS cloud? Yeah, I will see.
We can use Terraform, which is able to fetch the metadata from the configuration file.
Terraform has created. Now we have already seen that Terraform has created this EC2 instance with a public IP address. Terraform work is over. Now my next work is to extract this public IP address, of this server somehow dynamically and put it into this inventory file, because Ansible will consult this inventory file to get the connection, SSH connection. You just not have learned about the SSH connection. This is the secure shell connection, okay, over the internet, that your Ansible will be able to connect. But this connection needs the host IP address. This is the host machine to which it is connecting. So who will help this inventory file to get that IP address, which is the part of the software? See, I'm trying to, if this was an instance created by Azure cloud, Azure, you know, this is one of the biggest competitor of AWS. This is AWS cloud, and this is Azure. Azure is from Microsoft, okay? So Azure instance can be created with Terraform as well. Terraform can create over any cloud, any resources. All these resources can be done. But here we have used AWS. Now, can you tell me, this instance that was created on Azure will also have an IP address? So what?
Oh, is it when we use the AWS CLI to do that?
Yes, exactly. In case of
Okay.
AWS, it is AWS CLI. And in case of Azure, it will be Azure CLI. The functions are exactly the same. So as I told you, that you learn one cloud, you know all the clouds. The functions, the technology, the technicality, the terms, everything will remain the same. But so with the help of AWS CLI, I will extract dynamically the IP address, the public IP address of what? Of this server, and put it with the shell command. I will put it inside this inventory file, that IP address, and with which my Ansible can go and look into this inventory file, pick up the IP address, and then connect over SSH to the server. Is that part clear? So what is the next thing that it is going after the connection has been established and it has gathered all the facts? It will be we are going to install Apache server, Apache web server. That is the part of, we will create a playbook, and that playbook is going to access the IP address through the inventory file and then connect to this. And after that, it will install the Apache web server installation. It will do the installation of Apache web server. Clear? And then the third part of Ansible is to restart or start the service, because this is a service, a web server having its web services. It will restart the service. These are the three things that the Ansible will do on top of the server which was created by Terraform. So, and everything will be automated, and these jobs will be fired one after the other within the pipeline. This is the GitLab pipeline. This is our entire project. Initially, we will do it manually. We will do one by one so that we can check whether everything is running perfectly well. Okay. And once we have seen this, we will do another job on the pipeline to destroy. We will destroy all the resources. Once we are happy that, yes, your pipeline was able to do all these activities, we will destroy it, because we will not do manually, and we will do it. And then we will change the manual thing to automate, to make it automated. Whenever on my main branch, if there is some changes, some commits that the developers or ourselves have committed, some changes that will be registered within that main branch, immediately the pipeline will be triggered, and therefore the jobs will be automatically fired one after the other. We will create a dependency that this job number 2 will not be fired unless job number 1 has completed successfully. Similarly, with job number 3 and 4 and 5. Yeah, the destroy part we will do always a manual. We will not make it automatic, because when we get an approval that now you can do it, destroy all the resources. I am happy with the testing and everything. So basically you are creating a test server and deploying an application through Ansible. Okay, and so your testers will test all these things. And finally, what as a DevOps engineer, what you will do after the approval has been achieved from your testing team or from the project, that you can destroy this thing or the resources that you have created, because it has been tested fine. Is there any question of the entire thing that we are going to do it? I will explain you all the steps.
Yeah, I just have one small one, but we can delay it. Probably maybe be answered during the discussion. I'm just asking in relation to when you have to migrate a database, is it possible to also accommodate that as part of the pipeline when you're setting it up?
Yeah, are you going to see, database is a part of an application, so you can containerize the database altogether. Like
Yes.
you are, let's say there is a Java application or a PHP application. You are putting that application into a container as a microservice. Similarly, yeah, in the case of database, it is a bit a different way, because databases are replicated. So you will have replicated containers of the database, but there will be only one master container. And so mainly the reads and writes, the dirty reads and dirty writes will happen on the master container, but there will be snapshots. Every second, there will be snapshots of whatever the changes of the data into the other replica pods. Basically, it is always better to deploy it over the Kubernetes cluster. You should not deploy it as a single job. Okay? Your Terraform will create your Kubernetes cluster over any cloud, okay, whether it's Azure or AWS, over the pipeline, yes. And you will deploy the pipeline itself onto the cloud. Follow what I'm trying to say?
Okay, yeah. So in other words, so it's you can even if you, let's say you decide to even do that, you can also make it like a hidden job or something.
Hidden job.
Oh, okay.
No. What was the question?
No, as in if it so happens that you, let's say probably you encounter a situation where maybe they have set it up in that way, you can then decide to maybe probably make it as a hidden job instead of necessarily being triggered all the time.
Yes. And that is what we are also going to see it. Database, handling of database is, so in our paid sessions, in our paid course, what we usually do is we will, when we learn about Kubernetes, we do also a project where, at least if we are not getting the scope of doing the project itself, I hand over the document where you will be easily setting up Mongo Express, which is an application, versus a MongoDB, which is a database. So you will see how you deploy it, okay, over a Kubernetes cluster in form of a image container, okay, as pods. And just think that those pods, similarly, as you are installing installing Apache, you are going to deploy those pods over the Kubernetes cluster.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
That way, your entire application, that is the Mongo Express, is accessing. Mongo Express is the front end to the MongoDB. So, and your applications, Java application, whatever, can go to the Mongo Express, connect to the Mongo Express, and through the Mongo Express, it can be. So it's a layer in between the application, main application, the business logic, the business layer, and then the database. So we should not directly work on the database. There should be a business layer, and that business layer is the Mongo Express. Or for my example, I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, it's
And
clear.
all this as a job can be deployed over onto your pipeline and onto the Kubernetes cluster. So Terraform can create that Kubernetes cluster. Terraform can do this, and then with the help of Ansible or any other tool, you can, or directly from your GitLab, you can use the shell scripts to deploy your applications along with through the images. We are going to see this, but I hope we can proceed now with the basic understanding of what we are trying to do. Is that true? Now we go there. We go over to our, sorry. So here we have our settings. In the settings, afterwards we will come to that. Let us go and check about on our code. So we go to the code and the repository. And there are two folders I have created. And I have also created the pipeline, the pipeline script, the .gitlab ci.yaml. This for whether you are trying to do with Azure DevOps, you will have to create your pipeline, because in the pipeline script, you are going to create or do all the jobs and everything over the pipeline, over the stages with steps. Here, I have already copied the PEM file, as somebody was saying exactly that when you do not only IP address, you need to have the access key, right? Somebody told me that Debashish, you need to have an access key. Without an access key, you will not be authenticated. No handshaking. You have the IP address, but you do not have the access key. Access key is like a password. Okay. So to log in to your server, you need that access key for handshaking. And that is the access key that we have. I have copied this because I will attach this access key to my instance when we create it with the Terraform. Are you getting me? So I have built in few of the scripts with Terraform. One is the provider TF. You know that. I've discussed that in details in our Terraform session. Okay. So we are creating this in the region AP South 1. We are creating the backend, the state file, where? In our backend HTTP. Then we are using the Terraform, the plugins. We are definitely have to do the plugins. So therefore, this is the provider file. I know those who have not done Terraform, it will be difficult for you to understand this thing. But that is, I've already given an overview of Terraform in our earlier session. So please grab that recording in our YouTube channel. You will understand that. So we have created this provider file. Then we will go back to this folder, Terraform folder. This, one of the resources that we are creating is the S3 bucket. So you will see that we are creating the S3 bucket by this name. These are the various resources. Again, the same thing. We are creating all these resources through the Terraform configuration file. that is called HashiCorp configuration language. Okay. So this is another resource because we are going to make our versioning enabled. So this is the AWS S3 bucket versioning. You have to learn Terraform to understand this particular scripting, but it's very simple. And this is our ownership control. See, if we do not change our object ownership from bucket owner enforced to bucket owner preferred, you will not be allowed or you will not be able to make a public access of your bucket. Because my objective was to give the public access, isn't it? S3 bucket, what is the permission? Unblock the public access. By default, the public access is blocked. Nobody is allowed to access your bucket. But right now, I am changing this permission to unblock the public access. To do that, I have to change the bucket ownership preferred bucket ownership. So the ownership control has to be changed. And also then we will be able to unblock the public access. So we will make all of this public access false. So that it is not private. It can be accessed publicly, the bucket. And after that, we will change the access control list. We are saying for the right now, the bucket is only private. The owner can only read write, but I'm making the ACL access control list as public read write. These are the resources that we are going to create through Terraform. These are the jobs that we are going to deploy. Then come back to your, sorry, again, we will go back to Terraform. Another thing that we are creating other than this is the security group. As I told you, in our security group, you have, where is the security group? Yeah, firewall. In the firewall, you have ingress, inbound, and the egress, outbound rules. You are setting up the rules, okay? That is what you are doing over here. You are creating an AWS security group on this VPC. Now, can anybody tell me what is this VPC ID? From which region I've taken this VPC ID? Because an AWS security group cannot be created without a VPC, virtual private cloud. So where it is? And which region?
Southeast.
AP South 1. So that is in the Mumbai region. Mumbai region's VPC. I have just hard coded it. I have copied it from my. So if I go to my Mumbai region, and if I go to where is that? If I go to the VPC, and you go to your VPCs, can you see that this is the default VPC of the Mumbai region? So VPC, whatever, 22A76C. Let me check. Can you see? 22A76C. So this is what I just copied it from here. I copied it from here. I simply copied it and pasted it over here, so that my security group can be created over onto this VPC, because we are going to create our EC2 instance onto that server, onto that virtual private cloud, into a particular subnet. So I need the VPC ID. And after that, I am saying ingress, ingress for the HTTP, I want to create a rule to set that I will be, see, my Apache is an HTTP web server. Okay, so HTTP web server works on what? On port 80. So my incoming traffic should be able to access. So I'm allowing this. This is a firewall, remember. So that rule is allowing any traffic for a request for a HTTP port, which is port 80, and which is a TCP port. Protocol is TCP. From port to port, 80 to 80. And I'm not blocking any IP address in a particular. So I'm not blocking any device. So it can be 0000/0. So anyone. So 2 raised to the power of 32 minus 0, that is 2 raised to the power of 32. So a huge number of devices can connect. I'm not restricting, I'm not blacklisting, or I'm not whitelisting anything. Similarly, for ingress, there is another rule, that is inbound rule, that is I need to see Ansible has to connect. Ansible has to connect to that server. So through SSH. So which port? What is the SSH port number? So I have to allow SSH connection over the port 22. That's what I have given. I'm not restricting. Any device can connect to me. If they have an access key, they will be allowed to connect to my server. So over the port. So I must allow this. If I block this, nobody can connect to my EC2 instance. And there is one egress, outbound. Outbound, I'm not restricting, because something which has come in can go out. Everything can go out from port 0 to 0 minus 1. Minus means 1 means all protocols. It can be TCP, EDP, UDP, any type of connections. And I am giving it a name as internship SG, the name of the security group. Clear? Any question? So I can go back to, so we have seen, and now last thing that we are creating is, see, we are creating what? How many? We are creating EC2 instance, security group, and S3 bucket. So we have seen security group, S3 bucket, we are seeing the EC2 instance now. So we are seeing the EC2 instance, that we are creating an EC2 instance with basically there are 5 parameters, mandatory parameters, through which you can create an instance. One is the AMI. AMI is nothing but the operating system. On this, I'm going to install, or rather attach, an image of Ubuntu 24.04. That is the Amazon machine image. It is a container. It is a containerized image. I don't need to install it. I just have to attach it. Okay. Any question up to this point? And I have to attach a key name. And what was the key name that I have? It can connect, because you have just now seen that it was the DevOps internship.pen. So basically the name is DevOps-internship. It has to match. Okay, because Ansible will take that DevOps internship.pen and to connect it to access. So the key name has to be the same. Instance type is T2 medium. I'm creating a size that is 2 CPUs, virtual CPUs, and I think 2 GB. 4 GB of internal RAM. T2 medium. So the size of this EC2 instance is this T2 medium. And then we have to say, what is this? This is a parameter, a property name under the resource AWS instance. VPC security group IDs. Now, you can have more than one security group. So therefore, basically, this is a collection object. So when you denote a collection object, you must give it within the square brackets. Okay, it's a list item. So AWS security group, because that is the resource and that is the internship SG is the internal name and that ID. So because the security group has already been created by Terraform and this is the ID. So any resource created will have a resource ID. And then where it is going to create, in which data center of that region. So it is in AP South 1B. AP South 1 is your Mumbai and B, A, B, C. There are 3 data centers in Mumbai. AP South 1A, AP South 1B, and AP South 1C. I can show you that. Subnets. So you will see the subnets AP South 1A, 1B, 1C. Which one we are taking? We are hard coding this value, 1B. So I have taken CF730. Let me check. Where is it? CF730. Can you see that this is CF730? This is the subnet I have taken and put it, just copied and put it. I've hard coded it. But in Terraform, you do not need to hard code like this. You have certain things that we will learn in our paid courses, that how do you dynamically get your subnet, you get your VPC, the things that you get your AMI ID without hard coding. All these things can be dynamically done. But we have to know the technology behind it. And we are giving this resource a name called internship EC2 instance. Is that fine? Now we come to Ansible. So in Ansible, what we are doing? In Ansible, we are going to do lots of things. We have seen that. We will go to that folder, and there is a file called Ansible CFG. What does Ansible CFG do? It will set up some default configuration for Ansible. So in one of them is to mention the inventory file. Where is the inventory file? And what is the name of that inventory file? So this is the folder. This is the variable. I will declare that as a pipeline variable, global variable inside my pipeline script, Ansible directory. And I have to interpolate it with a $sign. So dollar and within the third bracket, the curly braces, Ansible directory / inventory.ini. Okay. Inventory.ini is the name of the file that I have created. So that is where I will get my, what is that? The details for my Ansible to connect to the server. So what do you think? What should be there in the inventory.ini? There will be a public IP address extracted. Okay. And host key checking equal to false. What does that mean? Can anybody tell me what host key checking equal to false? Remember, we are doing automation. Whenever Ansible will try to connect to the server for the first time, it will always ask for whether you want to have a public key access checked, handshaking. So either yes or no, it will ask for your approval. Now, approval means an interruption, a manual intervention. It will wait until you say yes or no. But do you want that? In an automation, you do never want any manual intervention, isn't it? So you are saying that Ansible, these are the Ansible key values. Host key checking is false. I don't want the host key checking. So that it automatically, I am giving a pre-approval. and I'm saying remote user is Ubuntu. Asking for the password should not be. You will never ask for the password because you will be logging in through the access key. So there is no question of password. So make it false. And then you are mentioning the private key file. And where is that private key file? In our project directory. And now this is the system variable. This CI, always anything starting with CI is a system variable. So in this, we have learned in our GitLab session what is system variable. So it is means that your project directory slash this is the file. This is your key file, private key file. Okay, these are the configurations because Ansible will read the configuration, find where is the inventory file and what is the name of the inventory file, and also it will pick up the PEM file to have the access key, the access. And then there is another section called privilege escalation through which you can escalate your privilege. You can up your privilege. That means Ubuntu, the user can become a root in case. So it can use the sudo method. Now these are the Linux way of, you have to know a bit of Linux to understand it. But anyway, it's a sudo user, super user. And you can promote Ubuntu as a super user using sudo privilege, which is nothing but you can become the Ubuntu can become a user root. Root means the super user of any system. Whether you are creating through AWS EC2 instance or you are creating with GCP your instance or you are creating your instance with Azure. Okay, every Linux system will have a root user by default. And become asks password is false, definitely. So any question? I will go back to this is the configuration file. And let us check the inventory file. The inventory file is just a text file. And it is giving these are all the variables. These are all Ansible defined variables. Okay. So Ansible SSH user is Ubuntu. Ansible SSH private key file, it is mentioning the key file. Where is the key file? It is under the CI project dir DevOps internship.temp. You may not give this. Why? Can you tell me? You have already mentioned this part in your ansible.cfg. It's a duplicate thing. It is redundant. Anyone can be read. Either you give it here or you give it in the Ansible CFG. Okay, Ansible connection is through SSH. Ansible user is Ubuntu. Ansible sudo is true. Ansible become is true. And then I have a group called Mumbai server. Can anybody tell me what will we put inside over here? What will be underneath this group? Which Ansible will read and try to connect.
I think it's the IP address of the server.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. This will be the IP address. This is the IP address, which will be extracted through AWS CLI from this server. Fantastic. These are the things that you need to know before you graduate yourself to cybersecurity or DevSecOps. So this is dynamically. I cannot hard code the value because I do not know what will be the public IP address beforehand. It will be only determined when the server will be created, when the EC2 instance will be created. So can I hard code it now? No, you cannot. I cannot. It will be dynamically done. Right? Again, it has gone off. Just 1 minute. Sometimes this camera does create some problem. Just 1 minute. It is. Can you hear my voice? Suddenly this has gone wrong.
Yeah, we can hear your voice, sir.
So the camera is not, something is happened on the Teams. The camera is gone. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Only that it is hanging. I think I have to leave and then reconnect. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can still see it. We can see it.
You can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. I will not waste any further time. Let me go back to Ansible, and this is the playbook. Just let me know if you can see the playbook. Playbook is the
Yes.
main thing in our Ansible. So what are we doing in our playbook? We are saying that first thing is it's a YAML file. Therefore, it will always start with a dash dash dash. And then it is saying the hosts all. So what is all? All is, remember, in your inventory.ini, you have mentioned all colon vars. So basically, you are accessing the all. You are not mentioning any particular server because you do not know what is the server name or the alias name or the IP address. So you are basically accessing your inventory file and accessing all colon vars. So under the all, you have your connection details, that what is the IP address and what are the configurations. And then you are saying whatever the gather fact. Yes, another thing is whenever Ansible connects to a host, it will give you back the facts, and that can be a time-consuming thing. Means it will, first of all, what is the first fact that it needs to check for Ansible to work on a agent or on a host? Can anybody tell me?
Is it the inventory file where it has to first verify the IP address and all these other configurations before moving on to other files?
Yeah, that is true. But now let's say assume, because hosts, with all, it will connect and it will immediately give you the result whether it is true or if the connection was successful or failure. If it is a success, it will gather the facts. What is the fact to gather first and the foremost? It will gather the fact whether on the host there is the installation of Python, because Ansible works on Python. Okay, so that is, and the host that I have created on AWS is working on Ubuntu, and Ubuntu, the operating system Ubuntu, comes bundled with Python. Okay, so I do not need to understand that fact. I am sure I do not need to. So I'm saying gather facts false. And the remote user Ubuntu become yes. And what are the tasks? The first task that I'm doing is to install Apache. The name of the task is install Apache 2. And I'm using an apt module to install Apache 2. Let us, so anybody needs to learn Ansible, needs to also, will be easier for them to know what I'm trying to explain. It is like Just 1 minute. Let me check this. Anyway, it is not working. The camera, something has gone wrong. So fine. Let me continue. So Apache, latest version of Apache will be installed. So the name of that apt, from the apt module, we are installing Apache 2 with the state of latest. We will also update the cache always. So it is like basically you are doing apt sudo apt install Apache 2 latest. And before that, you are saying sudo apt update to update the repository before you install any software. And also I'm saying force apt get yes. So whatever the apt update will be, it is apt dash get update. And then after the next task is to start the Apache 2 service, and the name is the service. This is the module. This, like the module called apt, this is also a module. And within this module, you have the three properties. Name, what is the service that you want to start? Apache 2. What is the state you want to make it? If it is not started, you will restart it. So this is just to ensure your Apache is running in the background. So this is what my Apache does. These are the two simple tasks that the Apache is doing. So this is what is my design. Okay. And finally, we will like to check what we have done over the GitLab, or what did we do onto the pipeline. Okay. This is a very important concept. This is the very important concept of any pipeline, whether it's Azure DevOps or GitLab or Jenkins. You have to create your pipeline script. So here I am. I will explain this. So I will go to edit in the pipeline editor. I will get a better bigger space to explain. Here, see, here I am doing a YAML script for any pipeline script, whether you are doing it in not in Jenkins. Jenkins is not a pipeline, YAML thing, but in Azure DevOps and in GitLab, you will do it as an YAML. So always start with a dash dash dash. In the variables, these are the pipeline variables, right? This is a pipeline variable. Pipeline variable is a global variable. So what you are doing, you are giving, and it's a convention that all the variables must be in capitals. There is no hard and fast rule, but it's a convention. When in your child, when you were a child, your mother gave an apple to you and said that this is a fruit called apple. Did you challenge it? No, because that was a convention that yes, that is an apple. It is not called orange. Similarly, here I have a rule, not a rule, a convention that all the environment variables, or rather variables, whether local variable or global variable, the variables should be all in capital letters. So you are saying Terraform directory is colon. See, these are all JSON data. In a YAML, you write JSON data. JSON data means key colon value pair. Key value pair. So I will take this out. will take this out, and I will say JSON. Okay. So you say this is JSON JavaScript object notation. It is like key colon value pair. Everywhere you will see a key, a colon, and a value. This is the value everywhere. Image, value. Services, colon, value. There can be a key, colon, a sub key, colon, then there can be a sub key, another sub key. That can be there. Then there is a hierarchy. This is the parent. This is a child. And this is a grandchild. That way it can be a ladder type of thing. But ultimately it is still a key value pair. So that is called a JSON type of data. And that you present it within the Docker file. YAML file. Similarly, I am saying Ansible directory is nothing but the project repository or the project directory, the root directory /Ansible /Terraform. State name. This is the state name. I'm giving the state name. Now you can ask me whether there is operate. In the operate, you will see Terraform states. If you go and click over here, there are no state file as yet defined. Or rather, it was nothing created. So we will only see this state file created in the backend, in the internet API, when we run the planned job, not now. So we'll go back to the code repository. And we go down. I know it is not something which is very interesting because if you are not understanding, it will not be interesting at all. You have to forgive me for that, but that is the way that our course has been designed, our internship has been designed. We cannot go into too much of depth. For that, we need our detailed training. But anyway, what we do is give an overview so that whenever you learn something, you will get a head start. That is our purpose. Okay, let it be. It is not there. It is not responding. And the state name, some state name by default, when you do it locally, it is the name is terraform.tf state. But here we are doing it on the backend of on the internet for our privacy, for our secrecy, for security. And address where it is hidden, where it is created is given by GitLab. You are using the GitLab official site to in this particular folder API v4 projects, and this is the project ID. So this is through which every project that you create will have a project ID. So that project ID will be unique. It will not be same for two projects. Okay. So therefore, this place will be only reserved for you, your project. Under that, there will be Terraform ID, a Terraform state and state name. So this state name is the variable, this one. This is the variable. And you are interpolating the value. What is the value? DevOps internship Terraform state. So you can ask me, Debashish, where is this CI project ID? How do I get the project ID? Yeah, that is already available in the system variable. But if you ask me, I can go and show you when you go over here, you will see that there is this is called a sandwich, 3 dots, vertically 3 dots. You click on this and you will see this is the project ID 620944430. This is unique project ID for your project. That is what is stored under CI project ID. Okay. So this is the value that you will see. Basically, this is the value 69, whatever that value is. Under that, there will be a folder Terraform. Under that, there will be a state. Under that, there will be a name, a folder name, or the state name as this one. So entirely, this is the address. So image Docker latest.
Mr. Debashish, I think you are in mute.
So how long I was in mute?
I think
Nobody.
last 1 minute.
Oh, last 1 minute. Okay. And because it is too much technical, I think people has got disinterested and many people have left. That is okay. But that is the way it is been designed. Many people wanted to have demonstrations, live demonstrations. And this is when I do it, people don't, and people run away. It is a very precarious condition for our to understand what is the best possible combination. Okay. If it is too much of theory, then it is also a problem. If it is too much of hands-on, it is also a problem. So what we did is we had given the theoretical background of Ansible, Terraform, and GitLab, and then only we are being able to discuss this. Okay. Anyway, I will go through it a bit fast because I want to execute it. These are the various stages that validate. So what I was saying, Docker DIND, that the 1 minute time when you did not hear me talk, is when the interviewer asks you whether what is the technology through which you can use multiple images in your pipeline. What is the answer? The answer is you will be using Docker in Docker service of Docker, which can handle multiple images. Here, because in our pipeline, we are going to use the image of Ubuntu, the image of AWS CLI, the image of Terraform, the image of Ansible. Because we are not going to install anything. That is the beauty of the pipeline, that you do not need to install anything. You just have the image attached. The image will do your background processing of your commands. So we have the stages: validate, plan, apply, Ansible stage, and destroy. There are 5 stages through which the stages of the pipeline through which your jobs are going to be executed. This is I have discussed this in our GitLab session, so I will not go through again. So, but I'm just briefing you that this is a hidden job. And this is for the hidden job, you need an anchor. Because I would not like to use the before script before any job. So I can customize before the script what should be run. So this is a programmatic concept that you will modularize your service calls or your function calls. Otherwise, if you do the before script and do not have this hidden job, then the Ansible does not need the before script of a Terraform job. Ansible will need separate thing to be executed. So I am giving this anchor and I'm setting up some exports. These are all shell commands, these are all shell. So that's why GitLab pipelines are very easy to handle, because you are not using Python script or Gradle or Groovy. Okay, you are using very, very simple shell scripts, cd, echo, export, all these commands. These are the Linux commands. So you are setting up the environment for Ansible. And then this is a before script clause. Before script is something which can be executed before any job. So I'm putting this into the Terraform version. I'm exporting the access token and all those stuff. That this GitLab access token is a pipeline variable. But in this before script, and this token is a variable. Now, this token variable has been created as a CI/CD variable that we have just now seen. That 4 variables. Remember, in the very beginning, we have access token, access ID, secret access key, the project access token, and the user name. So out of which this I'm storing it into this local variable. And I'm changing it over to my directory, Terraform directory, where I'm using the Terraform init to reconfigure the backend config for the address, because we are going to install the plugins as well as we are going to use the backend state, which is hidden over in this address. The address, this is the address. Okay, so we are initializing the Terraform. And after that, we are going to the next job in the pipeline, the first job in the pipeline. This is not a job. This is just a before script. Before script will happen within each job before the script, before you run the script, actual script within the job. Okay, so you are basically executing the before script before the actual script. And you are importing an image, you are pulling an image from HashiCorp site called Terraform. This is a Docker Hub. This is the Docker Hub. Docker Hub, where you store your Docker images. Now this Terraform Light is the tag or the version number. This is a Docker image stored in the Docker Hub in this account HashiCorp. So you are just using Terraform. You are not installing it as an image. You are just putting that into the pipeline. That you are pulling that into the pipeline, and that's all. The script, in the script, actually, this is the step that you are doing. This is the task. What is the first task? You are using Terraform validate. So you are validating. This is the command. We have done it in our Terraform session. What is Terraform validate? It will validate all the configuration files. And I'm saying manual because I want this job not to start automatically. Okay? Because I want to have a control and would like to see that it does not start before we actually start it. Initially, because we want to check that everything is working fine, then only we will make it always. From manual, we will make it always. Always means it will be automatically started. Whenever there is a trigger, there is a commit on the branch. Right now, I will make it manual. And similarly, there is another job, planned job, and the stage is, see, any job will have to be there in a particular stage. you must have the stage name correct. So your one of the stage is plan. This is validate, this is plan. So you are putting the validate job in the validate stage and plan job in the plan stage. You are again doing that image, you are incorporating that image Terraform Lite. Okay, and then you are using a command in the script called Terraform plan. You are executing the plan of the Terraform job, but it has a dependency on the validate job. So I am creating a dependency on the validate job because I would like to see that validate job completes first before it can pick up the plan job. But now, right now, I'm doing it manual. Then we come to the apply job. So the plan is a blueprint of what you are actually going to do. I think is my video available now? Yeah, it is available. So finally, now, so the apply job is again getting this particular light Terraform Lite, and it is applying Terraform apply auto approve. Before this script, what will happen? It will run the before script. That is why you have created this. So every time you are initializing the environment for Terraform to run. So Terraform, sorry, apply, it will apply your, and it is auto approve. That means it will not ask for whether I want to proceed, because as I told you, I do not want any manual intervention. And again, this will have a dependency on the plan job. So unless and until the plan job completes, it will not start the apply job. Yes, again, we are doing it manual. Finally, we come to the last stage, or rather the penultimate stage, which is the job, which is the inventory Ansible run. I'm giving the job name, but what is the stage? Ansible stage, because my Terraform has done all its job. Image here, I have put in an image. I've created an image which is Ansible, AWS CLI, and Ubuntu. So I have created layers of image in that file, and I've stored it into my Docker Hub account, Debashish P 1234567 This is my account. I can show you. This is my Docker Hub account. I think I have to log in. Sign in. I will sign in. A bit slow today. Anyway, you see that I have logged in as Debashish P 1234567 and this is the image. This is the image I have created about 1 year ago. Ansible, AWS CLI, Ubuntu. This is the image that I am using in my pipeline. Exactly the same image. Because here I would need Ansible commands to run. I need AWS CLI commands to run. And of course, I will need Ubuntu commands to run. Remember, in this Terraform image also, there is the Ubuntu layer. Terraform was installed over Ubuntu or any Linux system. And this before script, here in the before script, I do not want Terraform to be run because there is no point. I am calling the hidden file or the anchored job, which is the hidden job with a star. So Ansible env setup. So I'm setting up the environment for Ansible to run. This is the job, hidden job. This is the anchored. To call that anchor, you need to call it with a star. So I am calling it with a star. That's the job. And after this has set up the environment for Ansible, it will go to the script to execute all these things. What is doing? First of all, it is going to the project dir. What is the project dir? This is nothing but the project root repository directory. And there it will find that that I have kept this file. But Ansible is very sensitive. The file should be changed the permission to read only for the owner itself. So I'm giving the change mod, I'm giving 400. And this, you need to have a concept of Linux. What is change mod? Okay, but remember for this, 4 is only read. So I'm giving a read permission only for the owners. For the group and the others, it is 0 and 0. And it is not a directory, it is a file, so 0. So 0400 is the permission that I have given, the change mod, the permission. I have given only a read-only permission. Otherwise, Ansible will not be able to use this key file for authentication. Again, I will go to Ansible directory. Here, initially, I changed over to the CI project directory because for this file was in the project repository root folder. Here, I'm going to the Ansible directory because I want to do something. What I'm doing, because I want to create my inventory file in the Ansible directory, inventory.ini. Remember, what I'm doing, I'm extracting the public IP. I'm using an AWS CLI. This is a syntax. I cannot explain it over now, but I'm using combination of grep. See, AWS CLI command with EC2, describe instances, filter. What is the instance? The tag, what is the tag name? The value is internship EC2 instance. This is the one that Terraform has created with this name, that this is the instance. So it is going to AWS CLI is going to pick up from this particular instance in the region. What is the region? AP South 1, which is your Mumbai. And then it is using a filter, grep. Grep is a Linux command. Okay, filter command. Public IP address. We are interested with the public IP address. And then we are from that, it will pick up that single line. But this has two fields. Public IP address colon the IP address. So I will pick up the second field. So I'm using awk. Print the second field, $2. Then again a filter I will pick up because there are with that IP address is within the double quotes and a comma. So I will take out sed is the stream editor for Linux. Without going inside the file, I can search for double quotes and replace that with it's a find and replace. Like in Word, in any editor, you will try to find a string and replace it with another string. So here also I am doing finding search for the double quotes and globally replace it with nothing. So I am replacing the double quotes with a null, such that I can take out, truncate the double quotes for that IP address. Then again a filter saying said, if there is a comma, there is a possibility that there will be a comma. So I will truncate that. So I will search that and I will replace that with a null, nothing, and globally, do it globally. So this is how I have put in the result. The end result is an IP address like this. An IP address will be like this. So let's say it can be 10.10.1.2. Let's say this is the IP address of that server. This value without the double quotes and the comma will be stored where? Exported into the public IP, and that public IP you are echoing it with a double redirection. Why double redirection? Can anybody tell me? What does this mean? So let's say you are putting this value, the value is stored under public IP, pub IP, that variable. This is a shell variable, and you are interpolating that value. So you are putting that value where? In the file inventory.ini. Remember, in the inventory.finance, there is a Mumbai dash server in that group. You are putting that in the very last line of that group. So this double redirection means you are appending in the end of file, appending to the end of file. Basically, you are adding it to the last line, so Ansible can read that IP address of the server and will be able to connect to it. So that is the reason that you have done. So understood. So this AWS is executed through what? Through this image, Ansible AWS CLI Ubuntu image, because there is an AWS CLI installation in this image. Fantastic. You do not need to install anything. You already have an image where you have Ansible, you have AWS CLI, you have Ubuntu. Okay, so you are redirecting it and putting it in the last line of the inventory.ini. And then you are using a command. This is either you can directly say, better to say command chmod, because you know chmod is an external command. There are two types of command within Linux. There is internal command and external command. The chmod is an external command, so therefore you are using with command. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can directly, without this, you can also start. You can also give this. It will not matter. But it is, as I told you, it's a convention. So chmod, you are changing the permission to 644. 6 is read write, 4 is read and read. So you are giving the read write permission to your owner, and 4 and 4, that is read and read to your group and others, to inventory.ini. On it, okay. And finally, you are saying, you are echoing it. You are trying to see whether your the file has that inventory file has that particular IP address stored, and you are cat inventory.ini. You are trying to display the content of that inventory.ini, and you are trying to say echo Ansible version. You are giving this command Ansible. Now this command is coming from where? From that image, Ansible AWS CLI Ubuntu. This command is executed from that image. Ansible dash version, echo running Ansible version. So all this echo, cd, export command, all this is coming from Ubuntu. Running Ansible scripts. Then finally you are running the Ansible playbook. Ansible playbook is a command coming from Ansible, and you are executing the playbook 1.yaml -i inventory.ini. That means you are running this playbook. And what does that playbook do? It will install Apache and restart it. And this is also manual. Finally, the destroy job. This I will not change to from manual to always. The rest we will do always. But this is where you will destroy all the resources of Terraform, whatever resources that you have created. See, Ansible does not create any resource. It is Terraform only which will create the resource. So I'm destroying it through Terraform, the exact resources. I will, let's say I will commit the changes, though I have not made any changes. Okay, but I will commit the changes, because with the commit of any change onto that, onto the main branch, because I have only one branch called main, and if there is any change made onto that, it will automatically trigger the pipeline. Let's say I will like to trigger the pipeline. I will commit the changes. You see, it will first of all check the pipeline syntax. It is saying the pipeline syntax is correct. And if the syntax is correct, it will invoke the pipeline. It has started the pipeline, but it could not start. This means it is skipped. skipped. The validate stage is skipped. Planned skip is, it is not automatically started. Why? Because we have made it manual. Let us go to view pipeline, or you could have gone you can go to build, and under the build you will find pipelines. You can go like this as well. Okay, so this is the latest. This is just now you have, so you will, status is skipped. All these are the stages. Okay, I will click on this. I would like to run this pipeline. First of all, manually. So before that, I would like to verify, go over here, and I will go to my EC2 instance under I will go to my running instances into the Mumbai region. So this is the Mumbai region, okay, Asia Pacific Mumbai. I will go and check my running instances. Right now, do you have any instances which are running? No, because it has not yet been created. So let us be here, and I will go over here over the pipeline, and I will start the, first of all, I will run the valid first job. It will not, I'm doing it manually because I have said that I need to run it manually. And this, I'm going to check the log. Somebody the other day asked me what is, where I can find if there is any error. Now, those errors, I can find it in this log. This is the visible log output. And this is being run by some shared runners that is automatically given to me by the GitLab. So it is a shared runner which is running my pipeline. And that shared runner will have a Docker machine as an executor. So somebody has to execute that pipeline, and it is Docker. Okay. Now it is saying that there is an error. Can you see? Somebody asked me about whether I will get the error. Yes, I will get it in the log file itself. I have intentionally created this to answer that question. Somebody asked me the other day. Okay. So here you see that your job is not successful. It is ending with a warning. With a warning. What is that? That while it is trying to initialize the backend, it found an error, refreshing the state. So HTTP remote state endpoint requires authentication. So there must be some error. So it went to authentication means lots of things. Auth. It is not only authentication, it is authorization as well. So your authentication was done because you had that the variables for your IAM user access credentials for access key and the secret access key. Both were there. What was not there was the project access token. I know the error, so I will go to my settings and go to my CI/CD, and I will go to my variables, and you see I have the values. Though I didn't want to show you, the values are, yeah, I will just hide it quickly. So this is my access key ID. Access key ID. This is my secret access key through which Terraform will be able to. So this is the secret access key. I will not. And the username is the account, the Debashish Jiv. This is my account of GitLab. But one thing is missing: the token, the project access token. Okay. No token generated yet. So what I will do, I will quickly generate my token, project access token. I can access my IAM user on the AWS, but this token is needed for your access. You have to access your project. Your project should be able to do all these activities. So I will quickly go and create my access token. This is the project access token under the settings. And because I am the owner, so nobody else can do all these things. Nobody else can see the CI/CD variables. That is the security. I will add a new token. I'm giving a token name as token. Okay. I do not need to do anything. Let it be expired whenever it wants. I want to give it an owner status, a role, and I am giving few of the scopes. I can create runner, manage runner, proxy not needed, repository not needed, but anyway, I'm giving it. And I do not need AI features access. So I will create the project access token first. And this is the token. I can see this token. I can copy this token. I will keep it in a safe place. And I will now, what I will do, I will go to my CI/CD variable. I will quickly go to my variable and I will go to my token and I will edit this and I will put this value. Okay, I will save the changes. That's all. Now I will go to my build. I will go to my pipelines. I will again go to this because it has ended with a warning. I will rerun the validate job. So my validate job has started. I have to be very careful. I have to check the log file minutely. It may take a bit of time because it is downloading all the, first of all, the Terraform image. And now, can you see the job has succeeded? There is no, so the Terraform has been successfully initialized, all these things. And then I can go to the next. So I will click on the pipeline job ID, the pipeline number ID, and go to the next job, plan job. The plan job started. See, because they were all given the manual status, so it will not work. It will not start automatically. That you understood. Again, it is downloading because it is executing the before the script. So every time it is creating the environment for the HashiCorp, for the Terraform to work. Because once you come out of a job, all the local variables and the settings will be gone. So for the next job, you have to set it up again. That is the usual way that you do. So the job succeeded. You see, in the plan, it is showing that there are 7 resources to be added. 7 resources to be added. The ingress, the egress, that is the security group, is 1 resource. AWS S3 bucket versioning is 1 resource. AWS S3 bucket public access block is 1 resource. And AWS S3 bucket ownership controls is 1 resource. AWS S3 bucket ACL is 1 resource. AWS S3 bucket itself 1 resource. And finally, you have the AWS instance, that is all the 7 resources that you are going to create. See, this plan does not create the resources. It is just giving a blueprint. So in this case, I will take some time. I will go to operate And now you will see the Terraform state has been created. That backend state with that name, state name, DevOps internship Terraform state, isn't it? It has been created right now. It was updated 1 minute back, just now, January 4, 2025. Anyway, I will go back to my build and the pipelines. And now I will go to the pipeline again. So the 2 stages have passed. I will go to the apply job. This is the place where you are actually creating your resources. That is very important. You have to give me 10 minutes more. Again, it is actually applying the job. So therefore, it has to use the Terraform configuration, building up that Terraform, pulling up that image. A shared GitLab runner with this token is running. This is automatically done, given to you by GitLab. You don't have to set it up. So it is creating the bucket ACL, bucket ownership. It will say, as you go up, you will see that there's a plan to add 7 resources, out of which security group, it is creating the security group. It is creating the AWS S3 bucket, AWS security group, internship SG. It is creating all those. And the job has been completed. So 7 resources have been added. Now, I will go to my EC2 instance. I will refresh it. Can you see that it has created your instance? It has created your instance with a IP address, public IP address, but I do not have to access it manually. So Ansible will access this particular IP address automatically by this thing. And again, I will go to my security group. You see, there will be a security group created for you. And what is the name of the security group? The security group is internship SG. It was created by you. These were already there, but this is the one that you have created just now. You go towards end. It is the description managed by Terraform. And this is the security group that you have created. And if you click on this, you will have the rules. You have set up the SSH. Remember, you have created 2 ingress rules, SSH and HTTP, 22 and 80 port with no whitelisting or blacklisting. Everything was done. And also, you can see the outbound rule. There is only an outbound rule of all traffic, right? Because you have not restricted anything. All protocols, all port range. So all these things have been created. Another thing was created was S3 bucket. Go to the S3 bucket. See, so many things have been done. You go and you will see that my S3 bucket, this was not there. It was created just now, January 4, 23, 23, 24. This is my India time. Okay. So in the night, 23. So we are doing a lot of work in the night. So you can click on this. You go to the properties. What is the property that you have changed? You have changed the bucket versioning. You have enabled it. By default, it will be disabled. Then you go to the permissions. You see you have changed the public access. Okay, you have made it off, because if you go and edit it, you will see all the public block has been taken out through your script, Terraform script. And also because of that, you have also changed the bucket object ownership to bucket owner preferred. Otherwise, it was enforced. You see, there are two things. Bucket owner preferred, and this one is the object writer, which is enforced. If you say ACLs disabled, you will see that the bucket owner is enforced. But I want the ACLs to be enabled. And that was, I am not doing it manually. This is what I'm showing you, what has been done. Bucket owner preferred. And because of this bucket owner preferred, you can change the access control list. And you see publicly, though it is giving in red, it's a warning, because you, as a bucket owner, you have the list right or read and write. But just now you have changed through Terraform the bucket property permissions. You have given the permissions to everyone, all the public access to read and write. So all these changes were done. Now I will go back to my pipeline and I will go to my next job, which is the main job after. So Ansible, AWS CLI will all start working. So I will go to this, run the Ansible. Ansible inventory, Ansible run in this stage. What it is going to do? It is going to go into login access to that particular server. First of all, it will extract the IP address, put it into the inventory file. Ansible will read that inventory file. First of all, it will go to read the Ansible CFG. CFG will say where is the inventory file. It will go to that inventory file, pick up that IP address, use the SSH connection to connect to your server. And after that, it will go and install through the playbook. It will install your Apache server. So many things it is going to do over the pipeline. See, you have deployed your jobs over the pipeline and you are working the pipeline through. So you are doing it manually, but you just change it to always. You will see it automatically starts whenever there is a commit or a change. So it is seeing that it is installing Apache. It has already gone, and I will tell you that it must, yes, it has gone and picked up your IP address 3.110.28109. You go and check it. EC2. You see, your public IP address is 3.110.28109. 3.110.28109. So automatically, this is randomly, not randomly, it is programmatically picked up, dynamically picked up. And then it is running and the job succeeded. It has installed Apache 2, the web server, and started the Apache 2 service. So these are the tasks that Ansible has done. It is very expert in doing that. So all my jobs have run successfully. Now, if this has run successfully, I need to understand that I will now be able to go. So what is my, I will pick up the public IP address. I will connect from my browser, HTTP colon this and IP address, and then I will say the port on which my Apache server is working is port number 80. Can you see your Apache? So your it is an indication or testing has been done that your application is running perfectly well. It's an Apache. Only you have installed Apache. That's okay. But is that fine that I have gone to this server? This server was created new, and I have accessed the application Apache web server. So web server is running. So this is my project, and I don't know how much you have got it. Almost no one is there. But anyway, whoever is there, I like to thank you very much for all the patience and perseverance that you have showed. And the last stage, what I can do is go and go and destroy all my resources. So what I will do, I will go to my pipeline because I have verified that everything is working fine as per my design. So what I will do, I will go to destroy the job, destroy all the resources, the Terraform resources. I know it is quite deep in the night. It is 23:30 in India. It is night. So many people have left. That's okay. So it will destroy all the resources. Just now we will see that. It will access the backend state, and with that, reading that state file, it will see it is destroying. Destruction completed. Voice is not coming. Oh, what is happening today? Is my voice not coming? Hello? Are you being able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hello.
Somebody's told me that my voice is not coming through. Anyway,
Yeah,
so the
can
last
hear
phase is, yeah, sure. The last phase, my job succeeded. If my job succeeded, then I will definitely go over here. I will refresh it. Will you see? No. So my this thing has been terminated. If you go to your security group, what will you see? Your security group has gone. If you go to your S3 bucket, what will you see? Will you see your S3 bucket? No. No, your S3 bucket is also removed with all its properties. So you see, there is nothing. No buckets. No buckets are there. No bucket. So this is all for today. I know I have taken a lot of time, but basically there I'm trying to cover three very vital tools: GitLab, CI/CD pipeline, the Terraform, Ansible, and AWS CLI. So therefore it took some time. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks a lot for your patience.
Thank you,
I will stop.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any question or doubt, feel free to ask, or I think it is already time is past, so we can wrap up today's session.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Debashish, for this wonderful hands-on. It is a little bit technical, so
Yeah, it is very, very technical. Yes.
yeah, and that is the aim, because we face so many students without knowing, they jump in and afterwards they are understood that okay, this is not their cup of tea. It's better to have a little bit
Yeah,
taste bit.
it should be beforehand. If you are spending some money, you have to know the value of that money. So I will not like to make your money wasted, you know.
Money
So
and
it is better
2 months effort. So
2 months
many things.
effort, time, and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah, nothing will go in waste because see, we have been training so many people coming from non-IT, not even non-IT. They do not have any basic preliminary knowledge of IT at all. But those people are doing jobs, so it is not waste, altogether waste. So if just you have to have a courage that I want to know a new domain. If that is there, and
courage,
if you have hard
tenacity.
work, yeah, tenacity, hard work, perseverance, patience, it is not that, I mean, that it is overnight you will learn everything. You have to give yourself much time.
So very
And I
good
can
question.
assure you, effort will be 100% from our side.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Devashish. Thank you everyone
Thank you.
for joining.
Thank you.
Then we are closing. If you don't have any other questions, then we are closing today's meeting bridge.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Menon, I'm leaving now. Subro, are you there?
I'm there.
And
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
just
stop that live record.
yeah, I'm doing that on there.